Whether dancing with the master or running from spooks, this luminous leading lady could do it all. Despite starting off in the shadow of a superstar husband, she was able to make a name for herself as a versatile actress through a series of strong performances. Cheerful, perky, and always beautiful, she lit up the screen, whether playing outrageous comedy or intense drama. She is the one and only Paulette Goddard. She was born Pauline Marion Goddard Levy on June 3, 1911 in Long Island, New York. After working as a fashion model, the pretty young Paulette made her stage debut as a Ziegfeld girl in 1926. While on the road with the play Rio Rita, she met and married her first husband, lumber industrialist Edgar James. But in 1931, she obtained a divorce while on her way to Hollywood. Breaking into pictures was difficult, but the actress landed small bit parts. This included appearing as a Goldwyn girl in 2 Eddie Cantor films. In 1932, the aspiring actress met the world-renowned Charles Chaplin, who was immediately taken with the girl's wit and beauty. The two married, and in 1936, Goddard appeared with her husband in Modern Times. Continuing to rebel against talking pictures, director and star Chaplin made the film as a silent comedy, though he did include sound effects, music, and some gibberish dialogue. A commentary on the modern industrial age, the flick had Charlie driven into a mental hospital by his monotonously maddening factory job.
Back. Section 5, more speed.
Charlie Chaplin. Who else but Charlie Chaplin can make us howl with laughter or move us to tears? Or acting like a hero.
Upon release, he meets and falls for the homeless Goddard, and the rest of the picture details their attempts to build a simple, cozy life.
Laugh from the first scene to the last. With millions of moviegoers the world over, see and see again the film in which Charlie Chaplin sings for the first time.
Though critically acclaimed, Paulette remained overshadowed by her husband in the film and continued in small roles, trying to establish audience recognition. She was a leading contender for the part of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, but lost out to Vivien Leigh.
You should have licked that girl where she licked you. In his arms. It's where you win in the first round, and if I know men, it's still Custer's last stand.
A strong supporting role in the 1939 drama The Women finally brought her some overdue attention. Standing out in an all-female cast that included heavyweights like Joan Crawford, Norma Shearer, and Joan Fontaine, Paulette was simply superb as the chorus girl sleeping with Rosalind Russell's husband. In fact, their catfight is one of the hilarious high points in this biting look at the Ferrer set.
On your heart, you know it.
Take my advice, Crystal. Put your mind on your alimony.
Alimony? With what Stephen can get on you, he won't have to give you a dime.
Goddard finally became a leading lady in her own right, thanks to a pair of horror comedies that teamed her with the up-and-coming Bob Hope. The first was The Cat and the Canary, another version of the famous stage play about a maniac killing off the heirs to a fortune. Audiences loved the picture and the romantic pairing of Hope and Goddard, so the two were re-teamed for 1940's The Ghost Breakers. This time, Hope is a radio newsman who accidentally stows away to Cuba inside Paulette's trunk. Falling in love with a beguiling beauty, Hope reluctantly becomes a ghostbuster when he learns Goddard is heir to a haunted castle. Encountering zombies, ghosts, and vengeful killers, the two embark on a hunt to find a lost treasure and solve the mystery.
Frighten Paulette and me, but we ain't frightened. I'll match you to see who faints first.
Even better than The Cat and the Canary, The Ghost Breakers was a box office favorite that expertly combined genuinely scary scenes with hilarious comedy.
Carter's voice. Ah, that's what they're trying to make us believe. One reason Paulette and I are such good ghost breakers is that we don't believe in ghosts. Or do I?
Does this remind you of anything?
That same year, Goddard once again starred with husband Charlie Chaplin in The Great Dictator, a scathing political satire that dared attack the Axis powers on the brink of World War II. Finally making his first all-out talkie, Chaplin directed and appeared in 2 roles, a Jewish barber and the Hitler-like dictator of the title. Paulette did fine with her portrayal of Hannah, the Jewish laundry girl who falls in love with the simple barber. But she was overshadowed by Chaplin's spoof of Hitler and Jack Oakey's marvelous takeoff on Mussolini.
Benzino Napoleoni, the dictator of bacteria. Here is Field Marshal Bismarck Henning, Hinkle's right hand. Herr Garbage, his left hand. And finally, the little barber. And Hannah, the lovely, brave Hannah.
With second chorus, Goddard proved she could be light on her feet as she took to the floor with the one and only Fred Astaire. Burgess Meredith also starred as a fellow musician and a rival for Paulette's affections.
Now then, be a good girl and don't talk to any strange man.
I won't, and then I'll see you in New York.
I hope so. Well, I don't know. You know, Portland's a long way from New York, and concrete kind of holds a man down.
Well, you'll be there, Hank.
No, as a matter of fact, I've got to pay a lot of attention to those mills in Fall River.
Well, I won't be seeing either of you.
No.
Well, I'm afraid not.
What? Oh, goodbye, you idiot.
Look out for her orchids.
Goodbye.
Though Fred won her hand in the movie, Paulette would go on to marry Meredith in real life after divorcing Chaplin in 1942. In Pot o' Gold, Goddard again found herself singing and dancing, though this time her romantic interest was none other than Jimmy Stewart.
When he plays the song, all the kids never fail him. They sing a song along with Lisa Piper. People gather round when they hear the sound. The camels are coming, hooray, hooray, when their lively feet catch the piper's beat. They start to sway, and then it isn't long till all the folks are dancing, their hearts are gay when he would play them a song.
This musical comedy had Jimmy teaming up with a struggling group of musicians and eventually getting them a gig on his uncle's radio show.
He's disarming, alarming, charming, and gay. First he steals your heart, then he throws it away. He will tell you of tropical nights, make you dream of 1,000 delights. First he'll hold your hand, say you're simply grand, soon you're thinking his way.
He also falls in love with Paulette, who returns his affection, but only after the necessary plot contrivances.
There's something that's been worrying me. You don't know anything about me, who I am.
Oh, as if that made any difference. You're you and I'm me.
Well, I think I'd better tell you about this.
Oh,
Looks like
go
you made
away.
quite an impression. Well, it'll be a different story when I tell your uncle about it. Believe me, C.J. won't pay for your philandering.
Is Haskell your uncle?
Yes, now that's what I've been trying to tell you. If you'll just let me explain.
Doesn't need any explanation. It's all perfectly obvious. Sneaking into our home, pretending that you wanted to help us, and then making me
Well, now,
think that
wait a
it's
minute.
all...
Will you please let me explain?
What a cheap trick. You are a Haskell.
Well, now, Molly, quiet. They can hear you out here.
That's fine. Hello, everybody. I have some good news for you. Every week beginning next Thursday, Mr. Haskell, the sponsor of our program, is going to give away $1,000 in cash to somebody.
Throughout the 40s, Goddard worked under contract at Paramount Studios, becoming one of their most reliable leading ladies. For the Forest Rangers, she was 1/3 of a romantic triangle that included Fred McMurray and Susan Hayward.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
Along with igniting the passions of these two lovelies, Fred must also investigate a rash of fires threatening the territory.
There they are.
How are we going to get through there? Come on, lend a hand with this thing.
That's good. Level off.
Hurry up. The minute I'm alone with a man, he insults me.
Have I insulted you?
Not yet. But there's a familiar light in your eye. And
The Lady Has Plans teamed Paulette with frequent co-star Ray Milland for a far-fetched spy spoof set during World War II. In the title role, Goddard is assistant to Milland, a radio broadcaster stationed in Lisbon. She turns to her boss for help when she is mistaken for a Nazi agent carrying a secret message.
It's the hilarious tale of a girl reporter who becomes the biggest story of the year herself when she's mistaken for a 1942 Mata Hari who has secret war plans drawn on her back. And no red-blooded man on either side shirks his duty when he gets the command to uncover them.
Farewell, gentlemen. I go now to fair Borgia. Good, but be careful, Hava. Never fear, Captain. I shall withhold my fire until I see the white of her back.
You think they'll know what it is?
Well, if this is something, I've invented it. What I've copied here is a combination harvesting machine and barbershop clipper.
That is perfect. Every figure, every line. It is too complicated for me. I will let our engineers figure it out.
Yes, Baron. Get your best engineer.
Where are those plans? Where they belong. There's nothing you can do about it.
But how could you? They were on her back.
Well, I used to be a pickpocket once.
You will never be one again. Take them downstairs.
When America's newly won freedom of the seas had to be fought for all over again.
Cecil B. DeMille cast the actress in a pivotal role for his high seas adventure drama, Reap the Wild Wind.
An exciting tale of the Florida Keys and the struggles between heroic salvage masters and pirate wreckers. We tell the story of tempestuous Loxley Claiborne and of two men, the stalwart sea captain and the polished blade of Charleston, who fight savagely for the love of Loxley.
You're right. I do love him, and I'm going to marry him, and you're stabbing him in the back.
That's
Only
enough.
makes me...
In the first place, you're not in love with him. And in the second, I intend to marry you myself.
This story of 19th century ship salvagers also featured John Wayne, Ray Milland, Raymond Massey, and Robert Preston. Once again, Paulette finds herself in the middle of a love triangle, but this one is solved when Wayne is killed battling a giant squid.
Get them up!
Look, there's he!
It's the giant squid!
Get the man up! Get them up!
Catch that halter!
In 1944, Goddard married Burgess Meredith, a union that would last until 1950. She continued to be a regular presence on screen, appearing in such films as Duffy's Tavern and Diary of a Chambermaid.
America's past is full of hidden chapters.
Paulette was back with Cecil B. DeMille for his 1947 epic, Unconquered.
60 pounds and sixpence for this rare gem. Smile, you little scut. Do I hear another bid?
Dealing with the conflict between American colonists and Seneca Indians, the film starred Gary Cooper as a militia captain who buys indentured servant Goddard and sets her free.
The Virginia militia, scouting the unknown, as the Indian war belt passed from tribe to tribe, setting the border ablaze.
He's dead.
But evil Howard Da Silva has designs on the lovely lass, even neglecting his own Native American wife to pursue Paulette.
A gamble for an empire of furs and forests.
You're not a man. You're a walking loaded rifle with one bloodthirsty purpose to kill God. You haven't blood in your veins, you've gunpowder.
Unconquered is a story that sweeps you through many exciting backgrounds. The lusty fun of the Peakstown Fair, the brave finery of the King's birthday ball on the edge of the wilderness.
Led by Boris Karloff, the Senecans kidnap Goddard and attempt to torture her, but she is rescued by true love Cooper in the nick of time.
And thundering disaster ahead. The death march of the famed Black Watch to relieve Fort Pitt. The battle for survival, as Shawnee arrows and Seneca fireballs flame through the summer night. Not
one of DeMille's best, the picture still retains the grand scope and glorious spectacle the director is famous for. That same year, Paulette made a guest appearance in Variety Girl, a musical romp featuring cameos by almost every Paramount contractee.
Right up and see who is coming your way in Hollywood's mammoth musical romance of the movies, Variety Girl. 40, count them, 40 great stars all in one great picture. Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, Gary Cooper, Ray Milland, Alan Ladd, Barbara Stanwyck, Paulette Goddard, Dorothy Lamour, Sonny Tufts, Joan Caulfield, William Holden, Elizabeth Scott, Burt Lancaster, Gail Russell, Diana Lynn, Sterling Hayden, Robert Preston, Veronica Layton, John Lund, William Bendix, Barry Fitzgerald, Cass Daly, Howard Da Silva, McDonald Carey, with Olga San Juan, Billy DeWolf, Patrick Knowles, William Demarest, Mona Freeman, Cecil Calloway, Virginia Field, Richard Webb. Yours truly, Frank Phelan.
In 1950, Goddard both divorced Burgess Meredith and headlined the romantic drama The Torch, which she also produced. This film told the tale of a small Mexican town overrun by a band of revolutionaries led by Pedro Armendariz.
martyred town. We hail you, triumphant soldiers of freedom. Long live General Jose Juan Reyes. We're thankful that you have come to liberate us.
Pedro falls in love with wealthy villager Paulette, but must prove his worth if he hopes to win her affections.
I must speak to you.
We have nothing to talk about. If you must speak to someone, go to one of your camp followers.
Perhaps you're right, but that's not what my heart chooses.
What do I care what your heart chooses? Leave me alone. Leave me in peace.
Goddard also appeared in the film Paris Model, which followed a designer dress through 4 different stories.
Nude at midnight is hardly the word for it. The story of the most revealing dress since Eve's, and the 4 girls it was created to reveal.
The door. Oh, no, Marie, come. Unzip me first. Hurry up. Now the door. How delightful to see you. You're just in time to zip me up.
Zip you, Gogo? Oh, rather.
I'm looking for a dress.
Not much of a movie, it was one of a handful of pictures that marked Goddard's loss of box office popularity.
Yes, I'm going after big game, the male animal.
Oh, a man?
My boss. No, this is wrong, darling. I can't throw myself at the head of a man who doesn't want me. Kiss me goodbye, darling.
Roles were becoming scarce for the actress, so she retired from performing in the mid-50s and moved to Europe.
Edgar?
Yes, dear?
In 1958, she married Eric Maria Remarque, author of the famed anti-war novel, All Quiet on the Western Front. Paulette Goddard died of heart failure on April 23, 1990, in Switzerland. Though at first overshadowed by her leading men, she quickly became a star in her own right, thanks to an effervescent screen presence and breathtaking good looks.
And if I know men, it's still Custer's last stand.
Most often cast as one corner of a torrid love triangle, she represented the female ideal, yet remained obtainable for the common man.
In the first place, you're not in love with me. And in the second, I intend to marry you myself.
Dancer, comedian,
I'll match you to see who faints first.
actress. She had what it took to make it to the top.
Not yet. But there's a familiar light in your eye, and I wish you'd put it out.
Hollywood will always remember Paulette Goddard.